Brands fall into this pitfall all of the time, and you don't have to. I'm going to tell you how and why and what. And basically, it's the idea there's two phases of a brand and marketing plan, a brand and marketing strategy. One is the foundational phase, and the other is the momentum phase. Brands inevitably skip right to the momentum phase and they skip the foundational phase, and it's an enormous mistake. So in the foundational phase, what you're doing is you're establishing your identity. And when I say you're establishing your identity, who you are, what makes you meaningful, what gives you meaning, what makes you again have substance, to have something that's really captivating. What about you and why you do it is meaningful. Okay, and then you're going to go into your positioning, and that's basically taking that meaning that you created with that brand identity and applying it to the audience. So you want to understand, what's the audience life situation? What's their life context? And what are the emotional, if not existential, implications of that life context? And how do you slide in there? How do you fit into that? How do you, your product, your identity, your service, whatever, how do you slide into and fit into your audience's emotional context? That's positioning. And then you need to do messaging, right? Which will really naturally flow from the other two. I'm not saying it's not a lot of work. It is a lot of work, but it should really flow from the identity, positioning, the messaging. Great. That's the foundational in a nutshell. Now there's the momentum. Now there's going out and getting cadence, momentum, engagement, your social strategy, your content strategy, sponsorships, partnerships, all kinds of things to really get engagement and connection and to get yourself out there. Brands inevitably jump right to that social strategy, content strategy, SEO strategy. The problem is that those are just vehicles. Okay, that's just the shell. That's just the car, the engine that drives that. What makes the social strategy effective, makes the content strategy effective, the partnerships effective, all the marketing activities, all the brand activities effective, is all of the meaning in the identity and the positioning and the messaging that you've established before. So if you skip those steps and you go right to the social strategy or right to the content strategy, you're just driving an empty car. You're not even you're like Fred Flintstone with the feet trying to push the car. It's not going to go. It's not going to go anywhere. You have to have all of that meaning that you created in the foundational phase, because that's what's going to give the vehicles you're using in the momentum phase actual momentum. So don't make that mistake. Really spend a lot of time, a lot of time on the foundational phase. And I know the temptation to skip it because you want to get right to the conversions, but don't. You have to have that meaning in order to get that momentum. That's the catchphrase for the day. You have to have the meaning to get to that momentum.